What if the greatest miracle of Christmas isn't found in the manger, but in the God who stepped out of heaven and came just for you? Let's discover the miracle that still changes everything. This week on Living Hope Today. And welcome to this week's edition of Living Hope Today. So glad to have you along. And as we get ready here we are in December and looking forward to this wonderful time of the year and Christmas season, I tell you, we are excited about it. And as part of this series, I wanted to introduce a study that will last now. This will be the first one for the next 3 weeks that will cover the title, The Greatest of All Miracles. And I would like to do the study, and I invite you to join us not only today, but for the next 2 weeks. We'll end up with the last one on Christmas Day. And I want you to take a moment just to maybe hit the share button down here below and get a friend to join with you on this broadcast. You can share it on your Facebook or on your YouTube channel. Let people know that you are listening to this program today. And for the next 3 weeks, we'll be doing this special Christmas presentation. So I hope that you'll help me out with that. Today, we want to talk about something that is related to this, that we have our main title, which is The Greatest of All Miracles, this being part one. But each one will kind of do a subtitle, a little working title, and this one is called The Promise and the Plan. You know, I look at it as Christmas is filled with lights and songs, traditions, and lots of warm memories. Yet, I think the true miracle of Christmas didn't begin just in a manger. It began thousands of years earlier when God first promised that a Savior would come. You know, the miracle of Christmas is not just that Jesus came, but that God had kept every promise leading up to his coming. You can read about it from Genesis to Malachi. The Old Testament points forward, and it constantly whispers in those scriptures, He's coming, He's coming. And one of the verses that I think about, it starts way back in Genesis. In Genesis 3:15, God declares to the serpent who came to him in the Garden of Eden, he says, He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Well, you know what? This was the prophecy of the Messiah, because in Isaiah 7:14, God gives even more clarity to that. He says this, the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and we'll call him Emmanuel. Well, you know, hundreds of years later in Bethlehem, that miracle unfolded. But long before Mary and Joseph, before the shepherds, even before the angels, the miracle began in the heart of God, who had a plan to save all humanity. And God confirmed that plan through miraculous signs. I can think of the miracle of Zacharias and Elizabeth. You know, in Luke 1, the angel Gabriel, he appears to Zachariah, and he tells him that Elizabeth, who had long been unable to bear a child, would bear a son. And we can read about this in Luke 1:13. It says, your prayers has been heard. He'd been praying for his wife. And the angel approached him and told him that. And God was showing that nothing is impossible with him. Well, when we think of the Christmas story, it's the same thing that happened with Mary. In Luke 1:30 through 31, it says, do not be afraid, Mary. You will conceive and bear a son, and ye shall call his name Jesus. But you know what? Mary asks the question, well, how can this be? And the Lord answers in Luke 1:37, for with God nothing will be impossible. Isn't that something? But that same miracle happened to Joseph, because we read in Matthew 1:20, where they approached him and he says, Joseph, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife. Well, you know what? He was worried. She was getting ready to conceive a baby, and he knew that wasn't his. But God intervenes to reassure him. The miracle is just not Mary's birth, the conception that she did. It was the hand of God guiding every detail. And that's why this matters today. You know, the miracle of Christmas is not merely historical, it's personal. Because if God could orchestrate thousands of years of prophecy, fulfill every promise, overcome human impossibility, and step into our world at the exact right moment, well, then he can move in your life today. And maybe you need a miracle. Maybe you need a miracle of hope, or a miracle of direction, or a miracle of peace in uncertain times. The good news of Christmas is this: if God kept his greatest promise, he will keep every promise he has made to you. You know, we read in Hebrews 10:23, he who promised is faithful. You know, the greatest miracle is not that Jesus was born, but that God made a promise. He kept the promise. And today, he still keeps his promises. Do you know Christ is your personal Savior? Have you ever trusted in him? Have you made him Lord of your life? No matter what you may be going through, no matter what you may be facing, if you need a miracle, today's that day. You can accept Christ as your personal Savior. And just like he told, the angels told the shepherds, just like he told Joseph and Mary, that a miracle would take place. A miracle in your life can happen just as well. You can come to know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, and everything will be changed for you. If you haven't trusted Jesus as your personal Savior, may I invite you to do that? What a wonderful time of the season to do this, during this Christmas holidays, this Christmas time, where we celebrate Jesus' birth. I trust that you will ask Christ into your heart and life, and that you'll give him a place this Christmas season. Don't turn him away, but accept him into your heart and life. And then if you do, if you've made a decision to trust Christ, I want you to contact me. I want you to write me. I want you to let me know what you have done, because I want to pray with you. I want to be there to help you through these next couple weeks and months and years that you have accepted Christ as your personal Savior, to help you and get yourself committed totally to the Lord. And if you'll write me and let me know, I would appreciate that so much. Our Connect With You information is coming up next. And I urge you to please take down the email address and our mailing address, our mailing post office box address, to write us. And you can write us, for those of you that maybe are watching that have a prayer request, write us with your prayer request. Let us know what your needs might be. Or if, like I said, you trusted Jesus as your personal Savior today, I trust that you'll let me know, and we can share some vital information for you. I hope that you'll plan to join us next week at the same time for part 2, the greatest of all miracles. And we've got a brand new part in that program that I know it will be a blessing to you. So I hope you plan to join me next Thursday at the same time for Living Hope Today. Until then, may the Lord bless and keep you.
Thank you for joining us for Living Hope Today. If you have any questions, have a prayer request, or just want to connect with us, here are some ways you can reach us. We would love to hear from you. We trust you will be sure to like, subscribe, and friend us on either our Facebook page or YouTube channel. Be sure to join us next week at this same time for another episode of Living Hope Today.